Leavened bread allowed in hospitals during Passover. Well, that issue could lead to yet another political crisis in Israel. And it could force the Jewish nation to hold new elections less than a year after Prime Minister Bennett's coalition took power.
The crisis was triggered by the resignation of a right-wing member who claims Israel is losing its Jewish identity under Bennett's leadership. Chief International Correspondent Gary Lane explains.
Idit Silman's issue is over the health minister's ruling allowing leavened bread into hospitals during Passover. Opposition leader and former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu applauded the move.
Idit, you proved that what guides you is the concern for the Jewish identity of the State of Israel, the concern for the land of Israel. And I welcome you back home to the nationalist camp.
Silman's departure raises the possibility of new elections less than a year after the government took office. While Bennett still remains in power, the loss means he now oversees a Knesset that stands at 60-60. That makes for a dysfunctional government and once again puts Israel's political future in doubt.
There's definitely numerous scenarios that can take place. It doesn't necessarily mean that Netanyahu can race back into power and form a government. Netanyahu does not have 61 members supporting him.
Still, as Trayman points out, it could create an opportunity.
This might be the first crack in what could be several others that could lead either to a right-wing government being formed without elections or a new election. And polls do show that Netanyahu would soar in a new election and would win more than double the number of votes than any other party, and that more Israelis want him to be the prime minister than any other candidate.
The next few days may determine if the Bennett coalition stays together or Israel may once again face new elections. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Well, if you think our politics is complicated, Israeli politics takes it to a whole nother level. They have so many major parties. New parties seem to form overnight, new coalitions forming. So will we see new elections? My prediction is probably so. A lot of it has to do with Bennett's coalition, where he had to put together some pretty opposite groups, where they're sort of secular Jewish members of the Knesset who are part of that coalition, as well as Arab members, Arab Muslim members of that coalition. So how do you keep that together for a long-term government? Good luck with that. So we'll likely see new elections very soon in Israel.